Bonjour, Shego. My name is Steffanie Scott. I'm part of the University of Waterloo's Department of Geography and Environmental Management, and I've also been a member of the Food System Roundtable of Waterloo Region since it began in 2007. I'm also a settler on this land of the Attawandaron, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee people. As many of you know, food and agriculture production is a major driver of the Earth system exceeding what are called planetary boundaries. Food is also one of the fastest ways to achieve carbon emission reductions. So, with that in mind, I have 5 key recommendations for local government action that I'd like to share. And collectively, I think these commitments would put just and sustainable food systems, at the heart of a green future. So, the first is to develop a food strategy. Which involves facilitating a multi stakeholder platform, enabling dialogue and collaboration across agendas at different levels, defining priorities, and coordinating different interventions. I think there's great promise to develop an action plan, considering the benefits of integrating, climate change, um, policies to affect climate, food, health, and land policies to support ecological restoration and social resilience. And we can also build on the 2012 food charter that was passed in the region. Second priority is Indigenous leadership and land back. I think we as a society really need to reclaim a land-based ethics, the ethical relationships to the land and to all our relations. And Indigenous leaders have so much wisdom to offer about how to live in right relationship with the land. Indigenous leadership will also help us to reframe our food system and shift from thinking about food as a product or a commodity to food as a commons. Um, and I think across the board, we need to work on building an economy of care and of reciprocity. The third priority is regenerative agriculture and healthy soils and water. As you may know, synthetic fertilizer production is one of the most energy intensive aspects of the agriculture sector. And so there's 2 prongs to this recommendation. First relates to providing technical and financial support for regenerative and agroecology practices on both small and large scale farms and revitalizing degraded ecosystems. How should we do this? We can look to examples like the Agricultural Land Use Services Program, or ALUS. Also, Canadian Organic Growers has a program to support the transition to organic. The Ecological Farmers Association of Ontario has a farmer-led research program to facilitate farmer experimentation to adapt to climate change and mitigate emissions. And so learning from also the experience of farms in Waterloo region, like Fennings Organic Farm and Fertile Ground, these are local champions of regenerative agriculture here. The second prong of this recommendation is about supporting opportunities for urban and peri-urban production. There's a lot of new farmers. There's also at-risk youth who could really benefit from becoming involved in growing food. There may be opportunities to support an incubator farm for new farmers who are keen to practice regenerative agriculture and access land. There's an example in Ottawa called Just Food that has an incubator farm. And then my fourth recommendation is about promoting a circular economy to reduce food loss and waste, which is responsible for about 8% of global greenhouse gas emissions. So food waste can really be a focal point for food sustainability, food system sustainability in cities. So this could involve voluntary agreements in the food, retail, and food manufacturing sectors to collaborate on system-wide food loss and waste reduction. So I think there's a lot more that could be done in that regard. And then the fifth and final recommendation is about food relocalization and planetary health diet, what's come to be called a planetary health diet. And so there's various prongs here. First of all, I think There's research that suggests that more than half of the food that we import to southern Ontario could actually be produced within this province. And so, can we invest in local food infrastructure, like promoting regional markets for products and crops, like especially fruits and vegetables, promoting shorter food supply chains? So, there's opportunities to support organizations such as Open Food Network Canada, which was born here in Waterloo Region as an open access platform through which producers can sell online and help to build a resilient local food economy. So supporting organizations like that, supporting Bailey's Local Foods, an online farmers market here in Waterloo, and other sustainable local food businesses. Also consider supporting, a business incubator for food processing. And then another aspect of this recommendation is about providing support and training for households to preserve the harvest, by fermenting or dehydrating or canning foods. And this, I think, should also be part of emergency preparedness. And then finally, and importantly, relating to diet, considering ways to promote alternative sources of protein and things like meatless Mondays or vegan before 6 p.m. To shift away from red meat and dairy consumption in particular, and sort of rethinking our food environments to nudge people in that direction. So, in summary, I think we're sorely missing a land-based ethics to step up as a society to our responsibilities to care for our soil, our water, and our biodiversity. And municipal efforts in particular should weave climate policies and food policies together and use lessons from agroecology to achieve climate targets. The priority goal, as I've said, is to develop a comprehensive food strategy and corresponding policies involving all relevant municipal departments and representatives from key stakeholder groups. The food system is much more than farmers and food banks. And so I suggest let's put our minds and hearts together to improve it. Thank you.